Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire. This is Purple Poppy. Welcome to Sunday Stitching. Now, it's April and we've got a new prompt from the ladies at the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. And it's to make a bag. And as you're probably thinking, well, that's not a bag, Claire. No, I decided that I'm going to make a bag. But first of all, I wanted to make, as it were, my own fabric. So as you can see, I've got lots of bits of old coffee and tea stained fabrics. There's a shirt, there's bedding, there's some Brodeur Anglaise from a top that I used to have. And then I've got some new fabrics to add the colour in the pinks, the blues and these mini squares. And then I found this odd piece of lace and I thought, well, yeah, that'll add some embellishment. So I had two pieces of that, so that will go on later on. And then I found this snippet that I'd made and I thought I'm going to chop that in half and that's going to go on and add some even more embellishment. So we'll get them out the way for the minute. So as you can see, I've got lots of pins in it because I haven't stitched down any of my pieces. Normally we would run through and do an invisible stitch where you do a tiny stitch on the top and a long stitch on the bottom to hold it all down. But now this is Corinne's fault. Corinne, you started this. I was watching one of Corinne's videos the other day and she was doing a project, not this same project, but she was doing a project and she pulled out one of her, I don't know if you can actually see that because it's clear, one of her, I can never say this, Sashiko templates to do a bit of background. And as I was watching her do it, I was tearing these pieces and pinning them in place and I thought, do you know what? I hate camphor stitch because I can never get straight lines. So that would be the answer and it would give me like a hand embroidered look to it. So I sat with my fusion pen and my stencil. I started down in this bottom corner and I worked all the way up the middle to that top corner. And I'm going to do all of that in blue, this blue here. And then I just, to tie in the other corners, I put a little bit at the top there and a little bit at the bottom here. And you can see I've done this one in pink and I'm going to do the same at the top there. Now this is an old tea towel or a restaurant serviette maybe, and you can see there where I've stitched them. So there you go. We are using the Sashiko template and it's obviously not Sashiko, it's only Sashiko style because that would be, you know, indigo with white thread and I'm using all these coloured fabrics rather than the indigo and I'm using blue thread. So there you go. So that's what I'm up to. So the plan is to get this done and then when it's done I'm going to cut it into a bag. Basically I'm going to cut a front and a back and make a bag. So that's my plan. I'm starting to wonder now if I've bitten off a little bit more than I can chew because there's a lot of stitching here. But this Sashiko template I've stitched with you before and it does go quite quickly. And yes, I'm cutting off a great long length, which you all think is bad. So we'll see how we get on. So there you go, enough talking. Let's get this needle threaded and let's do some stitching. So how are you all? What have you been up to? I mean, we're sort of quite into April now. I mean, as always, I am stitching ahead. It's Thursday today. It's actually my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, bro. And this weather, well, I don't know about where you are, but as you know, I'm in Kent in the UK and this weather is loony. when I got up this morning, I'm always an early riser, as most of you know. See, this is why you shouldn't have such a long thread, Claire. You wouldn't get it in a knot. When I got up, it was raining so hard that it was, well, it was just rebounding off the top of the shed at the end of the garden. It was a very pretty sight, actually, but it was just ridiculous. It was that heavy. Right, there we go. So this is one of the reasons I love these stencils, is because it's basically just a running stitch. So we're just literally in and out, in and out, in and out, in, oh, and out and in. And because I struggle with stitch length, it suits me very much to have the line. There we go. Just give it a little stretch out. Done. See, it's very, very quick. And then what I usually do is I jump. I mean, you're probably not supposed to do this, but I usually jump to, you know, not necessarily completely opposite, but sort of opposite. And then I'm just going to go on and do this one. So yeah, it was raining so heavy, it was bouncing off the shed roof, and I was like, goodness me, I've got to go out and get the food shop. It's really a day for lighting a fire and watching a film, or sitting in front of the telly doing some stitching. And then by the time I got hubby up, the rain had all gone and it was brilliant sunshine. And I've been out and got the shopping, and there's been no rain, so I'm stayed nice and dry. But now it's just come over all grey and dark again. And I won't be surprised if it starts raining again in a minute. So, ridiculous. We seem to start the day very early, about sort of 3-4 o'clock, with rain. And then by breakfast time, you know, sort of 8 o'clock, it's dried up and the sun comes out. And then about lunchtime, we seem to have another bout of rain. And then it will dry up and be sunny again. And then tea time is raining again. It's just madness. There's a couple of places here where I had pins in and I couldn't quite get the line, so I'm going to have to make one up, but that's fine. Whoops. In, out, in, out. And you know, it's not because you're here, I talk to myself like this when I'm on my own stitching. So there you go. Now those of you that have been here a while will know that I like to have a stitching project as part of my Christmas present. Last year, or this year just gone, yeah, last year, I had the Heirloom Advent Calendar. The year before, I had the Bundle of Fat Quarters. And in watching Corinne's videos, I've discovered that she has done and will be releasing sometime soon Christmas panel. So, decision made. Come on, Corinne, get it out. I know it's only April, but that will be my Christmas project this year. It's nice to, you know, support other people in our community rather than the big companies. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what she's got on her panel. Those of you that watch her will know she's currently doing the panel, the Village panel by Suzanne over at Vintage Blend Studio. I think she's actually completed it, so this filming is from back when she was doing it, but very cute. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. I've now got my Cloth Stories book by Ali Ferguson. I think nearly all of us have got one of them, haven't we? So I'm excited to get on and do one of those as well. So there's lots of things in the pipeline in my stitching world. And of course, being April, we just on Friday, well, tomorrow in my world, Friday in yours, because you won't see this till Sunday, we started a new journal monthly. So yeah, that's the paper world, and I finally got the flip through of the, so you just need to, well, you don't need to if you stitch it less tight than I do. Finally got the flip through recorded of the Parisienne journal and got that uploaded to my Etsy. I will this afternoon, as it's Thursday, upload the, so when you watch this it will already have been done, upload the freebie pages for the April journal monthly. Always give some freebie papers to go with that. Obviously you don't have to use them for that. If you like them and you want to, whoops, sorry, I've just poked you in the eye again, haven't I? If you'd like to use them for something else, that's absolutely fine. And they're available in my Ko-fi shop, or they will be. No, they are, because of course you're watching this on Sunday. So you can see the blue is much more obvious than the pink, because the pink's quite a pale colour, but it's there, it can be seen, and I think it's, you know, going to make a beautiful piece of fabric. When I watched Sarah's video, I've not seen Rachel's yet. She was talking about making a zipper pouch. I'm planning, I've never ever in all the stitching I've done, which is, well, not as much as some people, I've never sewn in a zip, so I feel a bit nervous about that. So I'm planning on doing a tote bag with mine. So I think once I've got this fabric made, as it were, making this new piece of scrappy fabric, because of the size of this tea towel, tablecloth, whatever, let me see, I'm thinking I can fold it in half like that, probably have it about that big. So it's just going to be a little tote bag that I can fold up in my handbag, so that when I'm out and I find myself in a charity shop buying stuff that I didn't intend to, you know that, don't you? I can pull out a little carrier bag or a tote bag to put it in. That's my plan, and it's going to be the poshest little tote bag going, isn't it, with all this stitching and this fab embellishment. It's going to be really good. So, oh, I think I've just started my computer, so hang on one second, we're going to have to stop that background noise. I'll get done for copyright. So yeah, there you go, that's what we're doing. Whoops, got a knot there. See, Claire, if it wasn't so long. I know, but it is what it is. I I hate threading the needle and tying knots, so I like to have a long thread. Now, I did get quite shocked yesterday to see that there was a comment on my scrappy quilt video. Now that must be a year old, that video, and somebody had found it. It just goes to show you, you know, that once video's up there, it's up there forever. And the lady made a comment on it, and I thought, you know what, I'm really bad because I've still not finished that quilt. So that's something else that I need to do. I need to pull that out and get that finished. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, what has stalled me to finishing it is the quilting, because I did the quilt as you go on the front of it, didn't I? Those of you that have seen it, because I put the wadding down and I patched all the pieces on and stitched them to it, so that was technically quilting as you go. And I could realistically just have put a back on to cover up the stitching and the wadding, but because the stitching on the front was hand stitched, quite large running stitch, I was conscious of Boo, who does get on my bed, catching her claws in it and A, hurting herself, which obviously we don't want, and B, that she'd pull it apart. So I wanted to do a tight stitch and quilt it again, as it were. Also, I thought a second quilt would definitely give it, you know, that warm feeling. I was nervous of pulling it through my sewing machine because my sewing machine's not been working brilliantly, and I finally got around to getting a man to come and give it an overhaul next week. But B, it's a really big thing, you know, to slide through a domestic sewing machine. So then I was like, oh, well, I know what I'll do. I'll hand embroider it. And then I was like, but before I can do that, I need to tack it all together so that it doesn't move while I'm hand embroidering it. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is becoming a mammoth task. And I just sort of folded it up and put it in the corner like a very naughty girl. And there it stayed. Ow, I'm poking myself on that pin. And there it stayed. So, bit naughty. Really should pull it out and get it finished. So, perhaps now that I've done this, or I'm doing this, that idea will stay, and I could maybe put it into a hoop. I mean, it will be bulky, but maybe I can put it into a hoop. Right, I need to get that out because I've just realised that when I drew it, this piece here was obviously underneath. Sorry, I had the pin in my mouth. Underneath. And now it's on top. Look. So I'm just going to have to get my stencil out and just quickly redraw that bit. Can you see where I'm going? So just grab this and we'll do that. So here's my pen, and obviously I've done it in friction pen so it can very easily, you see, look, just lost me lines. It can very easily be ironed out. And this is what I was saying about, because the pin was there, some of it was all raised up and it was a little bit problematic. There we go. And then that one was there, so we need to bring this one in. Sorry, yeah, now I'm doing this, I am wondering about doing this. Maybe being really naughty and buying a new template stencil to do it in. There we go. Now I've got it. So yeah, maybe that's something that whoops. Oh, coffee time. Maybe that's something that will work for the quilt, to do this. And let's do that one there and get this all joined, as it were. Sorry, there's a child screaming in the street. So yeah, that might be the answer to oh goodness me, somebody's not happy. But please don't worry, because you can tell by the type of scream that that's temper, not pain, if you know what I mean. I can't imagine there's a mother that doesn't know what I mean. So yeah, there you go. So that might be the answer. As I say, it would be quite chunky in a hoop. But I think it would be worth it, because I could put a hoop smack bang in the middle, start in the middle, and then just gradually work my way out. And hopefully by working in a hoop, it wouldn't feel so sort of overwhelming, because you'd just be doing that one circle at a time, as it were. Oops, what's happened here? Oh, why does that not want to come through? Oh, no, don't do this to me. This happened once before. Do you remember, with that red thread? It's all bunched up like a bullion knot. Again, I suppose that's my fault for having it too long, is it? So, we're going to have to rethread our needle without that bit. I know you can see now how that blue is standing out on that coffee dyed fabric. And I wanted to use majority of the coffee and tea dyed fabrics, because I felt like that gave it the much more scrappy feel. Whereas if I'd used all the new fabrics, it wouldn't have looked quite, you know, quite the same. Well, that was my thought on it anyway. So there we go. So let me know, have you ever hand quilted a duvet or something? Is it as ominous as I feel it's going to be? Because I can feel that I'm just sort of putting it off on the basis that it's going to be a real headache. I'm wondering if I have to just put my big girl pants on, take a deep breath and get on with it, as it were. So and then around that corner. Right, let's give that a pull out, stretch that back up. There we go. Right, we'll go back over. Actually, do I want to go back up? No, I'm going to come this way. Oh, I can't because it goes that way, so I will have to go down here. Yeah, I just feel like I'm shying away from it, like Scaredy Girl Lemon, which is really, really stupid. But it's just how I feel about it at the moment. Right. Okay, how are we looking? I've got a spare pin here now, which I think I need because this is starting to move all over the place with me stitching at it. So I'll put one in there. This one can now come out of there and go under there, and that can go through there. There we go. That's better. So you can see we are definitely getting that quilted effect, which is lovely. It's exactly what I wanted. And then I don't know how many of you have seen it, and it's not really sewing related, but I saw the Artful Memories challenge by Jane Chip and Jack Ravi the other day on Instagram. Basically manipulating photographs to form a different piece of art. Don't know if you know their work. And I was like, yep, I need to get in on that. It's a daily challenge and I haven't done any yet, so I'm 4 days behind, which is not a good start really, is it? But I've been thinking about it and I've ordered, because I didn't have any, I've ordered some CD envelopes, you know, the square white ones with like a circle window in. And I thought, I'd already ordered them, and I thought, you know what, that is going to be the perfect thing, because there's 30 days in April, which means there's 30 of these prompts, and the box of CD envelopes I had to order was 50. So that will give me nice 20 spare, and one for every day of these prompts. So that's my plan. Now they are due in the post today, so I'm thinking this afternoon I'm going to get started, and I can do 4 in the one afternoon. And now all the others I've cut short of the coloured fabrics and only like the dark blue, so I'm going to come across there. That one's hidden under that one is what I'm going to say. So yeah, I thought I could start this afternoon, get the 4 done, and then I will be back on track to do these. Right, so that's the whole of that diamond, flower, whatever it is. So where am I going now? I suppose I'm going over here, and I don't know why, but I chose to put this one in. So, oops, don't overstretch it, Claire. We'll do this one now. And I'm just really pleased that I watched that video of Corinne's and it made me think about doing this as the, well, almost the couching down for the fabric rather than the canvas stitch, because whenever I do that I'm always disappointed with it because the lines are just not straight. Now I suppose that in the same way that I've done this stencil, I could get a ruler and do the lines and stitch the lines and then they would be straight, but that just sort of feels like, sounds stupid, but it feels like a cheat. Don't know why, because this doesn't feel like a cheat. I know, I'm a bit crazy, I can't help it. Need to get that back on there. So yeah, but I'm really pleased with this. I'm glad I watched that video and I had this idea. It's just, I think it's awesome. Now we have got a little gap there, so we might have to do a bit more of an embellishment, put a button or something on there. But this is all part of this, making it up as you go along. I like it, makes me happy. And it does mean you never quite know what you're going to end up with, doesn't it? There. So, are you joining in the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery this month? Are you going to be making some kind of bag? What are you, oh goodness me, what are you gonna make? I mean, there's obviously everything, isn't there? You can put a zip in a bag, you could go for like a clutch bag, drawstring bag, one of those rice bags. So many different things that you can do. Right, let's, ow, I do keep getting stabbed on the pins though, that is the only thing. Right, let's close this bit off and see where we're up to, and if we can, oh look, I'm bleeding. That's not good, we don't want blood on it. Right, so there you go, you can see where I've been. It's really standing out in the blue. Obviously I've got a really long way to go up there, and I haven't really done enough to iron out the pen marks yet, you see, and the reason we got that gap there is because without me realising it, that piece had moved. That is the only problem, but we can get over it. We can add an extra little embellishment on there, that'll be fine. So yeah, there you go guys, that's what I'm doing. I mean, we've been here a little while and I'm sure you don't want to just continue to watch me do lines, so I think what I'm going to do is I'll put it on pause, I'll stitch away, and then I'll come back and show you a bigger area where I've ironed off the lines so you can see what it actually looks like. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so here we are then. It's actually an hour later because the postman's been with the parcel and all sorts of things have been going on. But there you go. You can see now that I've stitched all the way across this bottom corner. I've been able to take the pins out because it is connecting all of these pieces to the back, and it's got this lovely quilted look to it now. I can't iron really any further than that because I've got pattern going up there, but I don't know about you, I think it's an awesome way to join all these scrappy pieces to the bottom. It's got texture. I absolutely love it, and somehow it gives it that vintage feel, the feel that it's been sitting there stitched together, well, for 100 years or whatever. It just feels lovely. I'm not so sure it would look so good on these, and that's why I didn't do them. I just did the fabrics that I felt could be old, even though they're not. So, as always, a huge thank you for joining me. I hope you found some joy and inspiration, and you'll consider using something like this rather than the, you know, the Campher or the Burrow to hold your pieces down. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.